Hello, my people. It's your Negro with Aptitude and host of the Blackboard, Mickee Lee. Well, welcome to the very first of the series 60 Life Lessons at 60. As I said in the video that just before this one, I am turning 60 as of February 2nd, 2025. And it's come upon me so quickly. I can remember being 45 and saying to myself that, wow, in 15 years, I'll be 60. And the 15 years didn't seem as long a stretch of time as 30 to 45 seemed. I can remember back when I was 30 years old and I said to myself, oh, I'll be 45 in 15 years. When I was 30, that stretch to 45 seemed like a long, 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 long time. Like I had a lot of time. Okay. And then I remember when I was 45, and I looked ahead and said, well, if I live another 15 years, I'll be 60. But it didn't seem quite as long as that stretch from 30 to 45. And although it's still the same decade and a half, it still didn't feel like it was so far away. Well, it turns out it wasn't. It turns out it wasn't. It went by really fast. And, a couple of years ago, when I was 57 or 58 years old, I started to, begin to really panic and be filled with a lot of anxiety because of the things that I had not yet accomplished. And even looking back over those things, and I'll give you one example. I have not bought a house. And there are some people, who don't mind renting and so forth. But I had always intended to buy at least one house. And even when I was in my 30s, and I remember having, around 30, in my late 20s, around 30, 31, I had friends and family members, females, primarily, who already had bought their home or were in the process of buying their first home. So it's not like I didn't have the examples, but for some reason I didn't lock on to really making sure that that goal was accomplished. And that's a shame because, though I did well in other areas, I, made sure that I have savings. I've saved my money in a variety of ways so that even while we are experiencing a lot of inflation, a lot of my money should be pretty safe from erosion, so to speak. But what I didn't do, which is a financial foundation and still one of the best foundations, is to buy a home. If I had bought a home when I was 30 and living in the Los Angeles area, that home would be worth at least 7 or 8 times what I paid for it, because I could have got a very spacious home for around $100,000 then. And I do remember adding up all the rent that I had paid to that point, which was from age 18 to say 30, so 12 years at that point. And it was enough to have bought a house, But for some reason, I did not lock on to that. And that's been a consistent theme all of these next 30 years, that was a goal I wanted to achieve and have started on that goal many, many, many times and got dissuaded or sidetracked or whatever. I don't have any kids to show for it because I don't have any kids. I never got married, and I'm not sorry about that. If I had, I had plenty of opportunities. There were, at least 5 or 6 guys who were interested in marrying me and made it very clear that's what they were interested in. But I didn't find a situation that I felt I had to be involved in. And then I don't have anything against marriage. I have only things against a bad marriage. And I don't think, well, anyway, I don't want to digress. I can talk about that another time. But the point is, my example that I'm giving you is not buying a home. So here I am at 60, and I've rented all of my life basically because I've been on my own since I was 18. So how does that happen? Now, I know some of you may, use this as an opportunity to, oh my gosh, that's a shame. No, you're so stupid. Oh, how could you let this happen? And blah, blah, blah. That's where you're at. That's where you're at. Like my mom told me, keep on living. When you do that, you begin to understand, something about other people and yourself. And you can easily see how some things that should be very simple, and you go ahead and do it, and you see other people do it. For some reason, you're not locking in on that, or you're not accomplishing that. But in any event, this is the example that I'm sharing with you. So the time went by quickly, and that's a major goal that I should have easily been able to accomplish, and I didn't, and it is costing a lot of time. So this series that I'm doing, which is 60 Life Lessons at 60, is not only to share some of the lessons that I've learned along the way, for example, about having a goal that you don't accomplish, but also this 60 Life Lessons at 60 is kind of a rebirth for me as well, a resetting of a clock. So this first lesson that I want to share with you is what 60 means to me. 60 means I don't give a damn. Okay? 60 means I don't give a damn. Now, if you knew me personally, then you would know I pretty much have never given a damn, right? If I think something, whatever it is that I think, I'm a pretty opinionated person. It doesn't mean that I'm locked into something and cannot receive new information that may prove me wrong. I'm not that kind of person. But I am the kind of person that will tell my opinion about something, and I will stand 10 toes deep on my opinion, especially if I feel that I have enough evidence and credible knowledge for that opinion. Okay, so what it means in the context of 60 is I have earned and over-earned the right to not give a damn. So when I tell you that I'm 60 years old, I don't own any property, I have not achieved one of my lifelong goals of buying a house. I don't give a damn if you want to mock me. I don't give a damn if you want to come in the comment sections and, just be a jerk. That's up to you. I don't give a damn, okay? Because what I am going to tell you is that I am prioritizing that, and even though it's going to be extremely expensive and has already been expensive, and what I'm paying in rent right now, I probably could have had at least 2 homes already paid for, possibly 3. The bottom line is I am not going to stay stuck at this space where something that is hugely important to the way I see myself and the way I see my life goes unaccomplished. I know someone personally who is 80 years old and still talking about they're going to get up and do X, Y, and Z. Now, it's impossible for them to do this because they no longer have the brain capacity to do it. And although help was offered to them many times over the years to help facilitate progressing this thing forward, they turned it down. I cannot let that happen to me. So even if I only buy the house this year and I'm called away before the Lord in 2 years or 3 years and I've only gotten to live in the house 3 years, or I buy the house and, through some other crazy event that is happening in this nation, the house is destroyed, or the house is taken away. That's not, out of the realm of possibility of what's going on today. I will still have accomplished that, and it will change the way I view myself. So the first lesson, life lesson at 60 is 60 means I don't give a damn. The next thing that 60, what I'm talking about when I say I don't give a damn, I also don't give a damn about how other people think that I should believe, for example. So there's a movement, a lot of black folks, I'm talking about ADOS now. I'm talking about American blacks, non-immigrant blacks, those of us who have lineage here in the United States for countless generations. We are the ones who built this country. This is who I'm talking to, and this is who I'm talking about. Okay. A large percentage of us, over 30%, I think it's over 35% of us now, don't identify as Christians. And while I understand that, the Lord probably won't. And it's a very dangerous thing, not only for us as a people, but we are the most consequential people in the world, not just in this nation, but in the world. So if we are detached from Jesus Christ, or God through Jesus Christ, this removes probably the strongest spiritual force in human form that God has ever had. We are the greatest people God has ever made. And I don't give a damn if people don't think that, including ADOS people. There are ADOS people who don't think that ADOS is the greatest people that God ever made. In fact, there are a number of ADOS people. Unfortunately, a lot of them are ADOS men who think that ADOS people are the worst people that God ever made. No. We are the greatest people that God ever made. But I don't give a damn if some people think that I'm stupid for trying to follow Christ, or I'm stupid for, believing the Bible, even though I sometimes only hold on I can barely hold on with this amount of a fingernail. I don't know if you guys can see this, but my fingernails are always short. Okay, I never wear long fingernails. And I often don't have enough faith to fill that fingernail, because I'm looking around and seeing the destruction and decimation of our people in a so-called Christian nation. And I'm not seeing God retaliate at all, at least in any way that I understand. So I have difficulty holding on. But I am firmly a believer in hell, and I'm firmly a believer that I don't want to go there. And so I don't give a damn that if people think that I'm having the white man's religion, for example, because they're all the white man's religion. But, someone else's opinion cannot dissuade me. And so what I hope for younger people is that you get to a point where you don't give a damn, okay? And what this means is you have conviction. See, when I was growing up, we heard the phrase, the courage of your convictions. We heard that a lot, because remember, I'm the first generation of civil rights babies. So I am the first generation to move about freely, and you see I'm using quotes, because we are the most monitored, studied, and restrained people to ever come about. And again, this is a so-called Christian nation, but I'll get to that in one of the other lessons. Anyway, I'm the first generation of civil rights babies to move around freely in the United States, okay? Which is another reason why not owning a home bothers me very, very much, because I've dropped the ball. But anyway, let me keep moving forward. first generation of civil rights babies to move about freely in the United States. And well, now I done lost my train of thought, which also is coming with 60, and I wasn't prepared for this, and I laughed at my mother a lot, and now I'm getting payback. What was my train of thought? Shoot.